A bit about the intellectual property considerations, specifically in ME4020. This will not be a general discussion on intellectual property, but rather how intellectual property relates to these 402 projects. First off, in order to understand intellectual property, you have to understand the different funding models. There are many different types of funding models here at the university. We fall underneath one of these funding models. In this case, the funding model that we fall underneath is this Type 1 funding model. These are class projects supported by third-party funding, materials, equipment. So there is funding that comes into the program. As an outcome of this program, we do generate deliverables, and I'll talk about what these deliverables are. So if you look at the second, third, and fourth columns, do you own the IP that gets generated out of this Type 1 funding model? And the answer is no. You must sign an agreement in order to participate in this type of class. And you are the creator of the IP that gets generated. So you don't own it, but you are the creator. Now, I'll try to clarify that a bit more, providing you with some subsequent slides. So essentially how this works in ME402 is the following. The university, this is important to note, it's not me, the university, but I, as part of the university, work with an industrial partner to identify an interesting engineering problem. This comes from a variety of sources, but I work with this engineer in industry to identify a cool, challenging problem. And these cool, challenging problems give students an opportunity to work on industry-sponsored projects. Now, if you had an internship or co-op, you may have worked on a sponsored project, and that's fine. This is just one more experience. So what happens is the industry partner and the university, we work and sign an agreement. And there is an agreement that I can provide for you, but we work to sign an agreement. Now what happens is the students down here, you are going to take a class at the university. You're paying to take that class, okay? So you're going to select to work on a project, right? So I asked you for your preferences. I asked you what sorts of projects you want to work on. And when you work on that project, you're likely going to generate some IP, okay? Now, you shouldn't see dollar signs in your eyes at this point. You're going to generate some intellectual property. Most often it's a patent, but it could be other elements of intellectual property, okay? So this is a problem, right? You generate the IP, the university enters an agreement with a sponsor. So we need to do something about that. So typical IP that gets generated, this is a report or presentation. So you might locate a source of a device that a sponsor can use. You might perform some experimentation. You might generate a functional prototype. You are going to generate some IP, or your group is going to generate some IP is more appropriate. Your group is going to generate some IP. You own that IP. You as a group own that IP. You have to fight over or negotiate over who owns that IP as a group. Challenge comes about, the company has paid to sponsor this project. The other challenge is the company owns some IP. So a couple of notes for you to think about. I'm going to ask you to sign an assignment of rights through this Clemson University Research Foundation. In exchange for you assigning your rights over to the university, and I'm not trying to steal these from you, we're going to make you a creator or an inventor, okay? So if you're working on a student, on a sponsored project, it's a cool sponsored project by industry, you're going to sign your rights over, and the university is going to be able to interact with the company on the IP, okay? Contact information for more specifics. You can speak with Joanna Floyd, Vincie Albritton. They both work for the University Research Foundation and Office of Industrial Contracts. I'd like to go back a minute and kind of talk about this. I, in no way, shape, or form, am trying to steal your intellectual property. I'm not interested in intellectual property. I'm interested in seeing you generate intellectual property. So I'm going to ask you to sign your rights over to the university. What do you get in exchange, right? This is the big thing. What do you get in exchange? Well, the first thing you get in exchange is the ability to work on an industry-sponsored project. If you decide, and it is your right, that you don't want to sign your rights over to the university, you can work on one of your own projects as long as it gets approved by me. You can work on a project that I have as long as it is acceptable by you. Okay. What you get in exchange for it is money, actually. Just speaking with Kerf recently, and a company pays $10,000 to start a project, and if IP is generated, that company will pay another $10,000 to get that IP. There is a 15% processing fee that goes to Kerf. The rest of that $10,000 fee gets split up amongst the inventors. So if you're working on a team of 4, you take that $8,500 and you get to divide that by 4, and you get a little over $2,000 for each student. What else do you get? You get to work on a cool project. I know this isn't as nice as lots and lots and lots of money, but you get to work on a cool project. The projects that we do in mechanical engineering are large capital projects. You work on a project for BMW, there's a very good probability that you're not going to start making cars. Another cool thing that you get is your name on a patent. Okay? So I'm not trying to take anything from you. The university is not trying to take anything from you. We are actually trying to negotiate better terms for you. Okay? So again, if you have any questions, please contact me or the folks at Kerf or the university research. Thanks. Post your questions to Blackboard or email them to me. Thank you.